So today, what we are going to talk about is our financial freedom futures, so that we all can be wealthy and not worry about anything. Because what does a person that has $1 million in the bank worry about?
Put another million in there.
Nothing. They don't worry about hardly anything. Worry about very little.
What do you eat for dinner?
Yeah, they worry about what's for dinner and where they're going to go and what's the fuel cost on the boat going to be. That's the kind of stuff they worry about. But anyway, so we're going to talk about financial freedom. I don't know exactly how we're going to break down the living benefits, the health plans, the estate planning, all that kind of stuff. But the game plan is for us to do this for the next 3 weeks, a short 3-week series, 30 minutes or so every morning. It's going to be hard for Don, so I'll shut up so he can start cramming it in here. Don is one of my financial planners. Don Rice lives here in Cherokee County. Actually, Bonnie, I think, introduced us. You said, Don, isn't that right? Bonnie Lelak, person that introduced us, right? Like in 2013 or something.
Yes.
So I had gone broke. My wife says, "Hey man, you're great at making money, but let's find a way to keep some of the money instead of giving it all away next time." And then I went on a year quest to find out ways to do self-directed, sort of be your own bank, sort of. Didn't know much about it. Pension plans, because most agents, most realtors don't have pension plans. Most of them can't pay their taxes at the end of the year. So anyway, Bonnie graciously hooked me up with Don. After I think I met with 13 people over 12 months or something like that. And then we sat down and started building plans of what I wanted to do for our future, how much we thought we could put back. And the wealthy pay themselves first. And that is one of the biggest things I learned from Don. And when he started talking again, brought up a concept to me about cash flow quadrants and investing and, creating your LLCs. So anyway, Don, I don't know how long you've been doing this, but I'm going to say at least for 6 months or so, right?
6 months, yeah, a little longer than 6 months. About 20 years now. So we do everything with retirement planning, wealth management, insurances, you name it. If it deals with money, we can help you out.
13 or something.
Yes.
So I had gone broke. My wife says, "Hey man, you're great at making money, but let's find a way to keep some of the money instead of giving it all away next time." And then I went on a year quest to find out ways to do self-directed, sort of be your own bank, sort of. Didn't know much about it. Pension plans, because most agents, most realtors don't have pension plans. Most of them can't pay their taxes at the end of the year. So anyway, Bonnie graciously hooked me up with Don. After I think I met with 13 people over 12 months or something like that. And then we sat down and started building plans of what I wanted to do for our future, how much we thought we could put back. And the wealthy pay themselves first. And that is one of the biggest things I learned from Don. And when he started talking again, brought up a concept to me about cash flow quadrants and investing and, creating your LLCs. So anyway, Don, I don't know how long you've been doing this, but I'm going to say at least for 6 months or so, right?
6 months, yeah, a little longer than 6 months. About 20 years now. So we do everything with retirement planning, wealth management, insurances, you name it. If it deals with money, we can help you out. We work with entrepreneurs all the time. That's what we're most proud of, is helping people that are outside of corporate, even though we can do that as well. Because you're not getting the help that you need. Everybody out there is going out to help the big businesses and things like that, but it's hard when you're an entrepreneur to know how to get your benefits and get everything set up properly. So I'll go into, I guess you want me to just take off with the tax-free retirement, Daniel?
Can you talk a little bit about cash flow quadrant first? Because
Yeah.
I think people don't, we all think we're business owners. We all think we're invested in our businesses, and really we're just duping ourselves, right?
Right. So with the cash flow quadrant, I mean, I'm sure if you guys, being in real estate, you've read Kiyosaki and all that kind of stuff. So you know how the cash flow quadrant works. You got your employee, your self-employed, your business owner, and your investor. Basically, there's 4 sets of tax rules as far as how the tax code is actually written. And everybody thinks that there's only one set of tax rules. Everybody thinks that everybody pays the same amount of taxes.
Can y'all see that?
Yeah, that's perfect. But with the employee, and again, that's where everybody thinks that they're at. They're going to pay about 40% of all their income in some sort of taxes, whether that's an income tax, property tax, sales taxes, everything that they make. When you're looking at all the taxes put together, about 40% of those taxes go of that employee's wealth goes out into some sort of tax. And before I get into all that, just keep in mind on the left-hand side, 5% of all your wealth is with 95% of the population. On the right-hand side, 95% of all the wealth is with 5% of the population. That's a huge thing to understand. And anybody can be on that right side. Yet most people are on the left side because of education. And that's period. That's all it is. You're educated to be over there because the whole purpose of the public school system is to make sure we have a bunch of employees to work. And
worker bees. They want everybody to be worker bees.
That's exactly right. And the people that are trying to get you fighting against each other every 2 years, like you're already hearing right now, people not paying their fair share, needing people to pay more taxes. You have to pay a lot of taxes because somebody else that's rich isn't paying their taxes. Those are all lies. Everybody that's getting you to fight over taxation and you not getting your fair share, they're all in the investor class. So all your politicians that want you to think that they're paying the same taxes as you, they're paying about 0 to 15% in taxes. And they're trying to get you fighting, thinking somebody's not paying the same 40% you are. And so just keep that in mind. Whenever a politician says something about fair share, you can tune them out because they're about to tell you a bunch of lies. They write the tax laws. They know exactly how the tax laws work, and it's just the way it is. You just have to educate yourself, and that's what we do, is we educate people on how to move around in these different tax codes. Because that employee, you're paying about 40% of all your wealth out in some sort of tax, and then you decide you're gonna get into real estate, but you're not gonna do it properly. You're just gonna print yourself a card and go to work. You're not going to structure yourself properly. So now the government says, well, that's wonderful. I'm glad that you're a hard worker. You get all the employee taxes plus a 15% self-employment tax labeled right on top of that. It'll be the biggest tax that you'll have on your tax return. So when that happens, now your 40% just went to about 55% of all your income's going out in some sort of taxes. When all you had to do was structure yourself properly, and you would have jumped over to that B side. You would have been over there with an LLC, an LLP, an S Corp, a C Corp. It just depends on how big you want to be. And for the most part, 99% of people are going to be absolutely fine with an LLC. What we would do is just make sure your LLC is set up with an S election. Okay, so LLC with an S election.
So you file as a sole proprietorship, right? Is that what it means? So you file it a certain way, you set it one way, you file it another.
Correct. Yeah, because you'll have the LLC, so you'll have the benefits of that. But with the S election, it gives you the additional benefits of an S Corp without all the extra regulation and the fees and stuff like that. So until you really need an S Corp, you don't have to really worry about it. Most people are absolutely fine with an LLC. But that takes you over. So now from 55% overall taxes paid out, of normal business owners only paying about 20% overall in taxes. So it's not that their taxes got cut. It's that the way they make money is completely different. So, and I'll get into that in just a second. The investor, once you get to pure investing, you can be anywhere from 0 to 15% in tax rates. Okay, so it depends on how you're investing, what you're doing with your investments. Real estate gives you some ways to go to 0%. Gas and oil definitely gives you ways to go to 0% taxes, that sort of thing. So there's lots of ways to get your taxes way down once everything's coming in as investments. But the reason why these tax rates are different, it has nothing to do with what your actual personal rate is. It has to do with how your money's looked at. So as an employee, you're making money. Money's coming in and coming in and coming in. And when you get your paycheck, it's gone immediately. The taxes come right out of the overall amount you're making. So if you make $100,000, you're taxed immediately as that's coming to you. So if you're in a 25% tax bracket, $25,000 is right out the door. Okay. Well, if you're a business owner, it doesn't work that way. I don't make money. I make revenue. So as I'm making money all year long, I can spend money until December 31st. And at December 31st, that's when they say, okay, how much do you owe in taxes? And maybe I've made $200,000, but with all my write-offs and depreciation and everything else that I have there, now I've got that down to say, $80,000, $100,000. And now they come in and say, okay, you owe $25,000 taxes. So it's not that I'm in a different tax bracket. It's just that I'm taxed differently on how my money is made. So it's way better to make revenue, which you do as a business owner, than it is to make money, which you do as an employee. And so that's key in understanding that. So you have to have that proper structure in place in order to be taxed that way. And of course, you need to make your quarterly payments and all that kind of stuff that'll keep you from getting yourself in trouble. A lot of people, especially when they're new business owners, well, nobody's taking any money out, so I'll just wait. My CPA will tell me what I have to pay next year. Well, if you're not making a lot of money, that might be okay. But if you end up having a great year, you might not be ready for a $100,000 tax bill. So you need to make sure that you're doing your quarterly payments so that you keep yourself out of trouble. A lot of people will get themselves in trouble because they're not used to making that big tax payment at the end of the year because they haven't paid anything all year. And if you owe, $20, $30, $40,000, sometimes it's hard to come up with that money right away. So I would say definitely you want to put some money aside. What I usually coach people on is make your quarterly payments, plus keep a savings account for taxes that you keep about 10% of everything you make in. So you're making those quarterlies plus an additional 10% of income that's coming in that savings account. That way, if your quarterlies don't cover everything, you've got that account so you can easily make that payment. And if your quarterlies do cover everything, it's kind of just like getting a tax return back. You have that account that you can now pull that money right back out of, or you can use that next year to easily make your quarterlies. So it makes it very easy for you to run your business on the tax side if you're making your quarterly payments and putting about 10% of income in that savings account that I call the tax savings account. But again, the biggest thing here, make sure you're structured as an LLC. I would say an LLC is an S election. And if you have a CPA that'll do that for you, that's great. If not, we can definitely help you handle that. And on the other side is you can do it yourself. It's about $150 for you to go online and do it yourself. But it's only about $300 or $400 to have a CPA do it for you. So technically that's way better because they're going to handle the state, they're going to handle the paperwork, they're going to handle all the regulation work, they're going to handle everything. It takes a lot of headache off of you. So definitely we say it's always better to have a professional do that for you. And then all you have to worry about is your $50 a year that you have to pay to keep your LLC running. You'll just get an email, pay that, and that's the only headache you'll have every single year.
Also, I do one little thing a little deeper here. You are able to pay yourself average ordinary income or something they call it, something like that. So let's say it's $5,000 a month. But then as you make more revenue and things come in, you can then give yourselves disbursements, I think is what it's called. It's not, is it disbursements on a K1?
Yeah.
Disbursements. So you may pay yourself quarterly 30 grand and you're seen differently on how you pay tax rate on that because it's not a true income anymore. So it's after it gets ran through your corporation, then you pay a little different tax rate on it. And as you are now employing yourself as a W-2 employee, there's more benefits there as well. I don't know how all that stuff works out. I just try to get next to the smartest guy in the room.
That's why you have a CPA.
That's right.
Even as a financial advisor, I tell all my clients, make sure you have a CPA that understands corporate law. If you have a CPA that is constantly warning you about red flags, fire that CPA, find you a corporate CPA. A corporate CPA is not going to be whining about red flags. They're going to know what they're doing. And so you're turning in every single write-off that you possibly can, and they're going to tell you yes or no. They're not going to sit here and say, well, that's a red flag. We don't want to do that. They're worried about you getting audited. I want somebody that's going to push it right to that line. They know exactly what you can write off and exactly what you can't, and they're not worried about stuff like that. They know exactly what they're doing. A lot of people, they've always had their taxes done by somebody that just does taxes. They do, personal taxes and things like that. And then they start their own business. And then that person doesn't know exactly what to do with all these different business accounts. And they're not used to all these write-offs and things you're trying to write off and how are you tying that to your business and all this other stuff. And so you want to keep that same CPA because you've always used them. Well, that's not a good idea because you're going to end up paying tons and tons in taxes because they don't know exactly what they're doing. You're fired. So make sure you have somebody that knows what they're doing on the corporate tax side so that you can avoid all those taxes. I tell people all the time, we coach people on tax preparation. The whole goal is to avoid paying the taxes. I did not say evade. If I say evade, we all go to prison. It's avoid. You avoid paying taxes that you do not have to pay. Most Americans pay twice as much in taxes than they actually have to because the people doing their taxes don't know exactly what they're doing. So just keep that in mind. You have to have someone that understands the business that you're in.
All right. So anybody have any questions for Don on this right here about becoming an investor in your own stuff? And this isn't an investor in just, this is everything. This is real estate. This is other people. This is everything that you own business wise. Anybody have any questions for him about this? Nope. Here is the website. Let me move this over. Here's their website. And these are the little videos. These little videos are really awesome. I mean, they're very quick, to the point, very clear. And like the rule of 72. Don, whatever you want to talk about, man, go get it. I'm gonna stop the screen share and you do you.
Okay, yeah. Like Daniel's saying, if you go to our website, you have lots of education. Everything on our website is forward facing. What we mean by forward facing is it's client based education. It'll teach you about living benefits and why you definitely need those. Everybody in America does. And we'll have a whole session on living benefits. So I won't go into depth into that right now. Rule of 72 is something you absolutely have to understand. That's the rule of compound interest. Albert Einstein says it's the most powerful thing in the universe. The person that understands it will make it. The person that doesn't will pay it. We all pay it because if you own a house and you ever wondered why, I pay $150,000 for this house, but after 20 years, I paid $450,000 for the house. Well, that's because of the rule of 72. It's how interest works and compound interest. So whatever interest rate you get on your money, if you divide that into the number 72, it will tell you exactly how long it takes to double your money. So when you're looking at your savings and you're talking about, what I need to double my money up for retirement, with the rule of 72, whatever, let's say you make 8% on your money. If you divide that into the number 72, that's a 9. So it's going to take 9 years to double your money. And that'll hold every time. It's a mathematical fact. But you have to understand that there's a reason why your broker has never really talked to you about the rule 72. And that's because there is a catch. The rule 72 doesn't work if you put a negative number into it. So if you're in a market account, like right now, you're losing money in the market if you're in the market. The markets have been tanking since, really tanking in the last 2 weeks, but they've been tanking since November. And so if you're in the market, you're losing money. So you can't use the rule 72 there. I can't say I'm going to double your money and double your money and double your money. And then the day you retire, the market's tank and you lose half of everything we've made you. Well, the rule 72 didn't work. So you have to be in what's called a guaranteed account. And these are what we call personal pensions. So before 1980, everybody had a pension. Granddad got a check for the rest of his life. And when granddad passed away, grandma got a check. That's how pensions work.
Just think how many people you personally know, that lost money in the stock market, 2001 tech crash, 2008 real estate market crash, 2008, 2010. People that are teachers, first responders, everybody that's pushing these different types of 401ks, name it, they all lose money every 7 to 8 years. And we're going to talk about when that money goes away, it doesn't come back.
Money over a lifetime. And then whenever someone passes away, that beneficiary gets a big payout. And that's because of the way pensions are built. And then in 1980, the government came in and said, hey, Mr. Business Owner, you don't want to have to worry about paying these people for the rest of your life, do you? And of course, the business owner's no, I don't want to take on all this risk. And he says, okay, no problem. We have this new thing called a 401k. We'll let you push all your employees over this 401k. That takes all the risk off of you. It puts all the risk on your employees. And we'll even give you a tax break, a tax bonus for offering this new 401k and getting rid of your pension. Business owner says, that's great. I love that. So I don't have to worry about it anymore. It helps me, my bottom line. So of course, it's a good deal for them. Then the government goes over to the employee and says, listen, you don't want to pay a bunch of taxes right now. Why don't you go into this new thing called a 401k and we'll defer your taxes until later. And don't worry, in the long run, your taxes will be way lower. Well, that's a lie. That doesn't really happen that way. And you say, well, that's great. Wow, I don't have to pay as much in taxes and I can save money. Yes, I want to definitely do that. I don't need this pension thing. So everybody moves over to 401ks in 1980. Well, the biggest beneficiary of a 401k is the United States government. It's a huge mutual fund for them. And basically that's exactly what it's used for. That's why, they don't need your money right now. They would way rather wait 30 years for your 401k to grow and tax you at that time. Most people don't understand that you save on average about $2,000 a year for overfunding an IRA, a 401k, all these types of things. But because of the growth after 30 to 40 years, you're going to pay about 20 to 30,000 a year in taxes while you're not working and not able to pay. So would you rather pay $2,000 a year in taxes while you are working and able to pay, or $30,000 a year in taxes while you're not working and not able to pay? But
Acorn or oak tree.
Yeah, that's it. We call it the seed versus the harvest. So you always want to be in tax-free environments. And when I say tax-free, it doesn't mean you never pay taxes. It means you've paid taxes on the seed. You already paid tax on the money, and then you put the money into something that continues to grow, and it's tax-free for the rest of your life. So there's a few ways to do that. You can do that with there's lots of ways, but the three main ways people go tax-free are they go with municipal bonds. But you have to have a lot of money if you want to retire on municipal bonds. If you have $1 million or $2 million, you can buy municipal bonds, and those dividends that they pay out will be tax-free. And for every $1 million of bonds you have, you're going to probably get about $50,000 or $60,000 a year for the rest of your life tax-free. So you get 5 or 6%, and that's going to pay out every single year. And so, it's very easy and very predictable, and you don't have to worry about your money. But again, you need a lot of money up front to do that. Now you can go with a Roth IRA, which is all your talking heads on the radio are going to tell you to use a Roth IRA. It's the best thing you can possibly have. But right there is a big, is something I want you to think about. The wealthy can't even have a Roth IRA. If you make over $138,000 a year, you're not getting a Roth IRA. And so if the wealthy don't use it or can't use it, do you truly think it's the best thing you can be doing for your retirement? Another thing with the Roth IRA is you can only put $6,500 a year in it. So you're never going to build a huge retirement plan with a Roth IRA. A Roth IRA, a 401k, traditional IRAs and 401ks, all these things are retirement supplements. They're sold to you as retirement plans, but they're retirement supplements. A retirement plan lasts until you die. A retirement supplement lasts until it runs out of money. So a retirement plan is going to be your Social Security. It will last until you pass. But with a retirement plan, it's going to last until you pass away. So like I said, your Social Security, that lasts until you pass away, and your pension would last until you pass away, that sort of thing. IRAs, 401ks, 403bs, 457s, all these different things, those are retirement supplements. They last until they run out of money. So just keep that in mind. You need to have retirement plans and retirement supplements. The problem in the U.S. is most people that used to have retirement plans and then went into supplements, that's all been changed with education. Now everybody's pushed into the market with all these market-driven accounts. Nobody sets up true retirement plans anymore. And then when you retire, then they say, okay, you got to roll over into an annuity or something, which is fine, but you're told to do that later. And that's a true retirement plan. It's going to last till you pass away. Well, you should have had some of your money in true retirement plans from the beginning. Everyone should have, as a rule of thumb, their age as a percentage of 100 in secure retirement, meaning if you're 50, you should have at least 50% of your money going into pension style plans, not into market. If you're 25, at least 25% of your money that you're saving should be going into pension style plans. Now, you can have as much as you want in secure, but you shouldn't have as much as you want in variable. That's the key. Everybody's telling you now, oh, you're young, put everything in the market. If you lose it, you got plenty of time. Who wants to lose money? What kind of talk is that? I'm a financial advisor myself, and I don't tell my clients, hey, put money in there and maybe you'll lose it, but don't worry, it'll come back. That's
Can I say can I tell you my little rule of thumb, how I judge it? If I'm driving, when people say it comes back, that is a fallacy. If I'm driving down the road, and that's what everybody says, you call them talking heads, it's perfect. That's what everybody says, is it comes back. If I'm driving down the road and I got two $20 bills, and I throw this one out the window, it will never find its way back in my car again. It ain't coming back. That 20's gone. Now, what that 20 represents might eventually, we might grow another $20, but that 20's out the window. So when everybody says it comes back, it's a false statement.
Yeah, because if you never lost it, let's say that 20 he threw out the window, okay, and then his other 20 he kept doubles in value over the next 10 years. Well, what if he'd had the original 40? Now he'd have twice as much 10 years from now. So that's exactly true. When they tell you it's going to come back, it's a half truth. You know, you might make money back, but you're never getting that back, or the growth that represented. Right. You'll never get that back. So you gotta be careful with that. So we always coach people on, you want to make sure you put that pension in place. You put some sort of secure retirement plan in place. And then once we have it built, because we can sit there and we can calculate what a secure plan is going to do, because we know with the Rule 72, we know with all our calculations what that's going to do. We can't do that with a market-driven account. But once we have your secure accounts to where we can calculate, okay, here's what your retirement's going to look like, and that is, 20 to 25% above what you think you'd be comfortable in retirement with, well, then now we can look at a bunch of variable type stuff that may take off for you. That's when you really start pumping tons of money into real estate investing, gas and oil investing, market investing, business investing, everything that you want to invest in. But you need that nest egg in order to make sure you're comfortable through life and for rainy days, like the times we're having now when markets start changing and stuff like that. It's good to have those emergency funds and everything set aside. So we definitely coach on all of that type of stuff. But one thing we're going to talk about real quick today is the tax-free pensions. So it's ways for you to put money into a policy that's going to give you a lot of things. It's going to give you a permanent estate because it's built on a life chassis. So you get a permanent life payout that'll pay out one day. So that's an asset that comes to you immediately when you make your first payment. It's going to give you living benefits, which again, we're going to have a whole class on that, which means you have life insurance that instead of only paying out because of a death, it pays out on 20 different triggers. So you could have heart attack, stroke, cancer, a major accident. There's 19 different triggers where it pays out for you while you're still alive. And so that's a huge, huge benefit for you. And it's going to give you lots of extra things as well. It gives you your tax-free retirement plan. It gives you disability income. It gives you all kinds of things. And the fact that it grows with guaranteed no losses is huge. And another big thing about it is it's virtually, and you can set it up for whatever size you want to be. And so unlike an IRA or 401k that has all these limits, you're only limited by what you can qualify for. So the more money you make, the bigger you can make it. It's not like you can only put $5,000 a year into it. You could put $100,000 a month into it if you could afford that. So it's completely up to you once you're pumping into these things. And you can use them for multiple different things. You can use these for your kids, for Head Start plans, for college and retirement and everything else. You can use them for your pension. You can use them for estate planning. You can use them for if you want to become a hard money lender. We can set up personal banks and stuff with these different types of policies. They're all just structured differently, but there's about 20 different ways I can help an individual or a business owner by structuring a personal permanent policy for them to actually do what it is they're trying to make this thing do. So there's lots of ways to make that happen. But again, it's all based on personal analysis. We sit down with you, we ask you a whole bunch of questions, kind of go over your personal situation, and then we show you a few options on what might be able to work best for you. But all that money that comes out of these policies comes out 100% tax free. So you don't have to worry about that. So again, it takes you back to that seed versus harvest, and it gives you that secure piece that you need, that is always going to be there. And like I said, with the Rule 72, the guaranteed no losses gives you that, doubling over time. And our personal pensions over the last 35 years, and that has the three biggest downturns since the Great Depression have all been in the last 35 years. And we're still averaging 8.3% on our personal pension plans. Even during all these downtimes. So we're doubling our clients' money roughly about every 9 years, and you're not sitting here terrified looking at the markets every day. And that's basically it for the tax-free retirement. I can go into a lot more detail, but again, that's pretty much the high level of it, and a lot of things that go into it. If you have any questions, Daniel just put out all my information and everything right there. I'll be happy to answer any personal questions you have. Just give me a call. That's my cell phone number that he put up there, my personal email and my cell phone number. So just shoot me any of those questions you have. If you want to sit down and have a talk, the nice thing with us is we offer free financial advisory. Especially anybody that listens to any of our talks or anything, you can give us a call if you just want to bounce an idea off of me. I'm more than happy just to give you my 2 cents and give you a way to, ask those types of questions that you need answers to without having to worry about going out and paying somebody to do it. So feel free to utilize that, and we're more than happy to help.
So guys, I encourage you to go to the synergyfinancial.com. I put it up top. Maybe you didn't have it. You have to cut it again and put it in the notes again real quick. But if you go here, before our next meeting next Wednesday, because I'm doing it, I'm doing these things in 3-week series. If you go there and you watch this, you have some of this particular, say, tax preferred retirement strategy or invest early, blah, 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 impact on taxes. If you have something there that you college planning that you specifically want to ask questions about next week, the next Wednesday is the time to kind of ask those questions to make it more, back and forth with you guys personally. And then the last week, we're going to do a wrap up, kind of an overcast of the whole thing, an overview of it. So if you would go and watch some of those videos, they're super short, super precise. And they're super informative too. After that, we're going to go into probates, not with Don, but with an attorney. We're going to go into probates, trust, irrevocable, revocable trust, and a whole litany of things that I've got planned for us on the next 3-week series.
Right. And Daniel, real quick, if everybody on the website will click on the Living Benefits tab before next week, just go to our website, click on the Living Benefits tab, and watch the Shannon Hay video. There's a testimonial video there all business owners should watch. It's about 7 minutes long with Shannon Hay. And if you guys could just take the time to watch that, and then we'll talk about it a little bit next week.
You guys have got all kinds of testimonial videos on here.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Thanks, Don.
I'll be sharing insightful and informative videos on stress-free retirement, being your own bank, setting up college funds, understanding Social Security, wills, probate, trust, and how the Fed Reserve rate hikes affect your mortgage rates. And always real estate solutions. I'm your go-to expert in real property. Look for my YouTube channel, living in Canton, Georgia, where it is sunny as can be right now. If you find value here, please like and share so others might as well. Remember, I'm not a videographer, not a video editor. I just want to share the most important info with you guys. Each video has a full version of around half hour or so, but there are multiple shorts of only 5 minutes or less as well. My name, Daniel Klopfelter. My area of specialty is real estate and asset protection for more than 25 years. So why am I exhorting you to view financial-based videos on a real estate channel? Good question. I believe that we all do better when we know better, which is why I'm here to expose you to a team of experts who know the topics that matter most. All of these topics work in unison. Full disclosure, I receive nothing for doing these videos other than the satisfaction of adding value to you. So smash that like button already. What are you waiting for? Share this so other people can see it. Y'all have a great day.